Hey everybody, welcome back to an episode of the 3 Count. I'm the greatest second place champion at the time of this recording, War Machine MJ. I only say that because Full Gear just happened. I haven't finished watching it or calculated the scorecard, so I don't know how it turned out. So for now, I'm still tied for first place, but I'm also in second place. Don't worry about it. It comes with part of the tied for first place. Anyway, I'm here today to talk about Monday Night Raw, since we are in the dead heat of Survivor Series. So, let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We kicked off the show with another Paul Heyman promo talking about how his client, Brock Lesnar, well, he's now part of Monday Night Raw, fixing their we don't have any major titles issue. Anyway, they're on Raw because they're trying to hunt down Lil Ray Mysterio. Because, Ray chased off Brock Lesnar during Crown Jewel. Anyway, this led to Brock going around backstage, terrorizing the backstage hands. He found one guy and just repeatedly smacked him into the table, trying to get answers out of him. He pulled another guy out of a car, destroyed one of the back car doors. Then he made his way to the announce team and was grilling them, asking where Ray is at. And then Paul Heyman threatened Jerry Lawler, which, by the way, also in this episode, shut up, Jerry. Anyway, threatened to have him die on camera again. Referencing his heart attack on camera. And while Lesnar was licking his chops and trying to destroy the Memphis King, Dio Madden, all 6 foot of him, just started squaring up to Brock. And of course, Brock put him down like Old Yeller. Even put him through the table. And while Brock was reveling in his destruction, Rey Mysterio came out there and he went mob style on there. Started capping Brock Lesnar with a lead pipe, just busting the back of his legs, making him hard to walk. And while Lesnar was trying to recover from it, Ray picked up the WWE Championship and just clocked Brock with it. Then while the referees and stagehands were separating them, Ray walked off. Then before they went to commercial, they kept an eye on Brock as he was selling that his kneecaps were pretty much destroyed because he was having a hard time standing up. Later in the night, we got a promo from Rey Mysterio, and he is doing just solid gold work as far as promos. But he was angry, he was intense, and he was saying, "Brock, you beat up my family, which is important to me. I wonder how you feel, or I wonder if you're going to take the fight to me like I just did when I come after something that you hold dear, and that's the WWE Championship." And then it was announced later on, Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at Survivor Series. No main card triple threat. So yeah. Next was, speaking of championships, it was the Kabuki Warriors, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, taking on Charlotte Flair and Natalya. This was an alright match. But they had Natalya beat Asuka with the sharpshooter. And it seems like they're booking Natalya kind of strong coming out of that whole Saudi Arabia situation. First ever women's match in the Middle East. But yeah, they just continue to crap on Asuka, who should have been the next big thing, but instead she's jobbing out. Next, we had a match we've seen before, and it still dazzles, but it also proves they've got nothing to do with these dudes. It was Buddy Murphy taking on Cedric Alexander. They tore it up back in the day in 205 Live, and they tore it up here with Buddy Murphy getting the win by countering the by countering what was Cedric's finisher? Lumbar check. He countered the lumbar check into the Murphy's Law after a Kamagoya to put away Cedric Alexander. See, it's been so long since I've actually done something worthwhile with Cedric. I forgot the name of his finisher. Anyway, next we got a Seth Rollins promo. He's mad because we turned on him because he made an ass out of himself on Twitter. You know, he's oversaturated. That's why we're sick of him. Anyway, he's mad that the fans turned on him. The same fans that wanted him to beat Brock have turned on him now. And speaking of Brock, he worked so hard to take the title off of Brock on Monday nights, and now that Brock is back, he doesn't have the energy to rebuild that culture. And it was about that time that NXT head honcho Triple H, yes, he even had NXT in his Titantron in his lower third on the screen, came out there and said, Seth, every time you don't know what to do next, you know what happens? I get involved. You don't know what's next? Boom, NXT champion. What happens when you lose that NXT champion? Shield. What happens when you lose the Shield? Authority. What happens when you become Authority? You get WWE Championship. And now we're back here again. So sometimes your future lies in your past. Basically, coaxing him to go back to NXT. And of course, Triple H didn't show up to the show alone, as the Undisputed Era showed up on the apron, basically just Triple H's backup. And while Seth Rollins was mulling over his decision, out came the original, official, only club that matters, AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, the OC. Basically, they were ready to bring the fight to the Era, and it just erupted into a Monday Night Raw and NXT kerfuffle. Later on backstage, Seth Rollins catches up with Triple H and says, listen, if I'm going to go to NXT, I'm not going to go to NXT. I'm going to show up there as your championship. Basically asking for a match against Adam Cole Bebe for the NXT championship in the main event. Triple H was happy to oblige. Next, back to plain old Monday Night Raw business. Yeah, the whole NXT invasion was only worth it in like 3 segments of the night. Anyway, back to Monday Night Raw business as we got set for mixed tag team action between Andrade and Zelina Vega taking on the team of Sin Cara and, well, nobody knows what to call her, so I'm just going to say what sounds a little bit more classier, Catalina, because they've been saying Catalina, Carolina, Carolina, I don't know, every variation on it. Anyway, this wasn't much of a match. It was kind of a blink and you miss it kind of thing. I believe it was, Yeah, it was Zelina. She hit a really nice handspring Hurricanrana off the apron. It was really good. However, Andrade put away. Was it Andrade or Zelina? Again, it was a blink and you miss it match. Um, yeah, Zelina Vega got the win. Not really much here. Next, more god awful Monday Night Raw business as Rusev came out there. Basically, he's tired of this whole Lashley Lana thing, and he said, "Lashley, you want her, you can have her, but your ass is mine." Sounds tough, but it also sounds a little bit on the high side. Anyway, Booty Lashley came out there with, of course, somebody else's booty in tow, that being Lana. Came out there with a cast over his foot. Well, no, he wasn't wearing a cast. Sorry, he was in crutches, saying, "I can't compete. I tore my groin." Which that sounds really painful. Anyway, and he said it wasn't because of training. It wasn't because of Saudi Arabia. Basically, to paraphrase what he said, he broke his junk by porking Lana. Basically, the equivalent of "I broke my junk by your wife." But they found a suitable replacement to kick Rusev's ass, and it was none other than perpetual. They need to do something with this guy, Drew McIntyre. He was all business. Uh, yeah, he was more or less letting Rusev have it majority of this match. Uh, Towards the finish, when Rusev was finally firing up, the momentum was on his side. RKO out of nowhere. Match over. Um, Booty Lashley, of course, was at ringside, making things a little bit harder on Rusev. He started beating down on Rusev, and at that point, McIntyre just said, "Screw it, I'm out of here." And of course, Rusev would get some help in the form of Ricochet, the one and only, who, once again, he waited too long when there was two people kicking Rusev's ass. He could have popped out there at any point in time. So yeah, the one and only superhero of WWE made the save, chased him off. Yeah. Next, we had an interview with my future ex-wife, WWE, I'm sorry, Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. Basically talking about Survivor Series. I forget what else she said, but the interview was interrupted by NXT Women's Champion, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler. And they basically had a little face-to-face. Moral of the story is, moral of the story is basically these two, they're going to keep an eye on Bayley, but it's more or less they're going after each other. Because it was announced that it's going to be a triple threat women's match between all three champions. And I just gotta say, I love that segment, and I love both these ladies. Next, we had the OC, Anderson, Gallows, and Styles. They were in no playing mood after the NXT invasion. Of course, they kind of they kind of had to deal with some of the playfulness of the Street Profits, and of course Humberto Carrillo, who all three of them were just mocking the fact that they scored an upset victory on the OC. I'm sorry, all three of them were joking at the fact that Street Profits scored an upset victory on the OC a couple weeks ago. Uh, this was a really good match. fantastic. But in the end, the OC got the victory with yeah, he got up with a elevated roll up. OC got the victory with an elevated roll up. Anyway, next was the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, taking on the East Hampton Polo Boys, and at the span of saying their name, the Viking Raiders won, and they basically sent a message to Gallows and Anderson saying, "You guys are the best tag team in the world for now. Congrats, boys." And that's pretty much it. And finalima in the main event, we got two former Ring of Honor champions going at it. Wait, was Tyler Black a Ring of Honor champion? I can't remember. I know there was. I know he was involved in that really cool promo, the Age of the Fall. Okay, former Ring of Honor stars. There we go. Seth Rollins and Adam Cole, baby, competing for the NXT Championship. This was a fun enough match. Of Yeah, Adam Cole is just a fantastic competitor. In the end, however, towards the finish, the Undisputed Era, the rest of them, Fish, O'Reilly, and Strong, got involved, caused a disqualification, and we ended the show off with just an absolute wild card brawl between Raw and NXT, where the broadcast cut out with Keith Lee, big old Keith Lee, limitless Keith Lee, just doing an ungodly tope con hero outside the ring to that just big ass kerfuffle. And of course, after cameras stopped rolling, they put it up as an exclusive. But oh my God, Ricochet, he deserves that disgustingly athletic spot because he hit a Phoenix level corkscrew splash. Oh, it's just where do they find these guys? Anyway, that does it for Monday Night Raw. Yeah, once again, we are in the dead heat of Survivor Series. Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. Oof. So, that being said, plug time. If you miss Rod's opinions but hate his ugly face, he has a podcast, Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime. So go check it out. 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 Anyway, you know us. Like, share, subscribe. Follow us on the channel. Watch our videos. We do. Oh, okay. I won't say we do fantastic, but we try. Oh, we're trying. Anyway, I'm the greatest second place champion and secret defector for NXT, War Machine MJ, and I will see you guys next time. Bang.